Yeah, good morning and welcome back. This morning we're going to get the soldering done on this. So then we're only down to getting all the screw holes filled for the old Clusen tuners, let them dry, trim them off, get that all cleaned up and figure out what we're going to put as tuners back in it. And then we'll be good to go to string it up and play this thing. But first we got to get this soldered up. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on here. If you guys are wondering what this is, it came in a set of two. So these are like something you'd put on your grill for vegetables, fish, whatever. Flame retardant. So what I did was I just took these and I used these for soldering because they're resistant to it. And what I did here is I cut a hole in it to obviously protect the guitar without having to go all the way around it with different pieces, you know. And in hindsight, what I should have did is I should have cut that more into the center and then used the other one to kind of drape over the rest of the body. But hey, you live and learn, and it works. So we're gonna get the three-way switch and the pickups soldered in today. I got the soldering iron warming up. And then I wanted to show you guys here. So when I was showing you how to solder this, and I was talking about how there's like no room right here. Let me zoom you in here and you'll see what I'm talking about. You see how close that is to the body? That's why I highly recommend soldering your wires while they're hanging in the down position or up position towards, you know, the tip of the switch tip, however you want to look at that. But if you're holding upside down, you'd let them hang down to solder them, because then after you get it soldered, it will go down and then naturally bend into that hole, and you'll be able to keep that clearance that you have, which is not much. So from experience, while that solder gun's warming up, let me get you guys back up here where you can see. 0.6. Oh, that's the wrong way. Sorry. Okay. So on the blue one, I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yep. So on your guys' build, I already got the cover on it, but I can't show you. I should just take it off and show you. Because what had happened is by soldering it the way that I did, straight out, the way I had to get it in there all cattywampus, it made my wire just a smidgen too short. So what I'm going to do to fix that, I'll show you guys here in 1 second. And get this off without scratching it. So, look at how freaking tight that is. I mean, it's got the switch crooked and everything. So, I could leave that like that because, I mean, it's fine. Switch works and everything. It's just in there crooked because it's so tight, because I soldered them wires sticking straight out instead of down. And that really screwed me down here, so it made my input jack a little tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unsolder it from the input jack and put a grounding block right there, and then just a second wire like in Chug. So either that, or the other option is to take out this three-way switch and just redo the whole thing. The only problem with that is then you're getting into these solder boogers, and the more you mess with it, the worse it looks, you know, and it just starts looking terrible. And I think going with just a little ground block here and putting a second wire in is going to alleviate that issue there. And then while I'm at it, you guys can see when I was showing you guys how to do excuse me, the three-way switch with the cloth wire for the ground, when you save that little piece of cloth, you use it here on your capacitors, stuff like that. Just makes it look fancier, cleaner. If something ever touches it, it's not going to ground out on it, because that's technically your hot lead. So just keep that in mind too when you're soldering. Really keep that in mind on the three-way switch. Let that stuff dangle straight down and set it, because there isn't much room in those cavities. I mean, look at that. Look how crooked it is. Let me know what you guys think I should do. I think I'm just going to leave it and put the grounding block there, but I don't know. I'll put that cover back on it later. It should be warm enough now to solder. So let's go ahead and set up this. Get you guys in here so you can see what's going on. Alright. Should be warm enough. I haven't tested it yet, but it's been on for a minute. Alright, we'll see how that starts. And check my solder. Yep, nice and hot. And clean that tip off. And I'm still working with this giant screwdriver tip. I mean, oh my god. This one here, it's like really jagged. I don't know if I can get it to focus. So it's uneven. It's more like something that you would have in an SDS hammer or something for breaking concrete. It's what it looks like. But yeah, that one's just too... it's really hard to solder with that thing. And I have one that has a really fine tip on it, and I can't find it, but I'm stuck using this giant like number 3 screwdriver here. So it's been a little difficult. So the first thing we want to do is let's get these pickups hooked up. So now the pickups already came pre-stripped, and that's another thing I wanted to mention. When I wired this 3-way switch, if you notice, I only prepped the bridge and neck volume wires. So, and then I put the red on it for the neck. But I did that so I didn't confuse my input jack with the other 2 pickups. Because even though you mark red on one, and you're like, well, which of the other 2 is bridge and, you know, input jack? So if you prep just the 2 for the volumes right away and get it through, then you're not going to mess up. You'll always know what your input jack is. And then again, tape those 3 together, and then you can just tape that down and then do your pickup wires first. They're kind of the most pain in the butt, because you're going to put that in with the capacitor. So you got to solder this right in with the capacitor there at the same time. So that makes it a little difficult. Sometimes you're doing, excuse me, I'm really phlegmy this morning. Sometimes you don't have that soldered yet because you're building it from scratch, brand new. In this case, this came out of a 2005 1960 reissue, so it's already been soldered. And all I did was heat that solder and pull the pickup out when it was time. So this here is going to be our bridge pickup, and then down here is your bridge volume pot. If you're unsure about what to do, all you got to do is get yourself out a little pamphlet like this. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm zoomed in pretty good. But you can see how I marked it red for neck and black for bridge. So that's pretty much all you got to do, is just get yourself a little guide out if you're uncomfortable, and then you just use that to check yourself as you're going. You lay it down here next to the guitar, and you can look over and whatnot. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this heated up and hopefully fed through. Let's see here if I can do this left-handed. Maybe. Never tried it left-handed. This is a first here. All right. So I got it heated up and through, but I don't think I put it through enough. Nope. All right, let's try this again. And I'm also doing this all cattywampus like, because I'm trying to use the camera and show you guys. So let me get this adjusted around here. And we'll try this out. And this is one of the reasons that I usually don't film this kind of stuff, because it's kind of time consuming, and trying to edit out all the garbage is a whole nother issue. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is, since I got that through the fisheye now, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this ground set here. It's gonna take it a second to heat it up. I should be using little alligator tongs to hold the wire in place, because I'm gonna end up burning the crap out of my finger probably. Come on. This is too much. I hate this tip. Let me clean it off. See, it's kind of goobered up. It's like just a number 2, number 3 Phillips or flathead screwdriver. It's just so big, and it takes a lot to get the heat down in that big tip, where the little tiny point one I have works just excellent. Maybe I crank the heat up a little bit more here. Let's go up to about 70. Normally I only use about 50 or 60 when I got the little thin tip, but this thing is just not. There we go. It's starting to melt now. Let's get that hot. The other thing too is the little Allen screw in this doesn't hold it tight up against the heating element in there. So that's the other thing I'm fighting. Alright, I think this is just a fail today. It's not even melting the damn solder. I'm going to give it one more shot, and if not, I'm going to give up and order some tips, because this is awful. Come on. It just starts to get it hot enough to melt, and then it immediately cools off because the tip is, it's just not right. Alright, I'm going to switch gears and go back to soldering that in. Because then it'll quit moving around on me. Boy, just being a stubborn. I gotta get a different tip. I mean, look at how loose that tip is. That's crazy. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and try to get some heat in that. Come on. I just can't get it to stick. This stupid tip is just garbage. So I think I'm going to abandon this and order some tips, because I don't want to do a crappy job on this just because this tip is not cooperating with me. So I guess I'm sorry guys, that just did not work out. It wasn't too bad on the three-way switch, because all I had to do is heat the solder up and get it to drop down into the eyelets. But it is just not working here for these grounds. It's just too big and clunky. So we're gonna go ahead and call it this time, and we'll get back to it later, I guess. Sorry about that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll get the tips ordered. We'll get this sorted out. Man, what a bummer. So, I don't know. I hope you guys learned something, even though we didn't get much done. Thank you for watching.